A very good morning to you, and it is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and it feels so good to have you join us on U45 Morning Show. Yes, I'm Adenike Owoye Ajiboye, welcoming you to a perfect edition of the program.
Good morning, Lagosians. Good morning, Nigerians. Beautiful day, the 29th day of November. I am Osage Solomon Wilfred.
And I welcome you to the show this morning. I'm Patience Willie.
Yes, so U45 Morning Show, you know how we help to drive your day. Of course, we will be looking at the newspaper, of course, a newspaper review segment to know what is happening in all of these dailies. And of course, we'll also bring to you our trends and hashtags. And the main topic of discussion today is still on political interference in electoral verdict and the perception of the generality of Nigerians. Could it be that Nigeria is actually sitting at a time bomb waiting to explode based on all of these verdicts delivered on our election matters? And I want to inform you that as we speak, based on the appeal court judgment, we sat the sitting governor in Kano State. Many youths have again taken to the streets to protest, and we don't know how this is going to end. So this and many more is what to look at for in today's edition of U45 Morning Show. So right about now, let's go straight to the newspaper review. Patience.
Yes, so many things have been happening in Nigeria, Nike, and it's really it needs to be curtailed. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, let's just know what is
I
happening.
agree.
Nigerians have to really know what's happening in Nigeria. Let's go through the newspaper. We're starting with the Daily Independence. The first topic says we must prescribe cross-carpeting, unbundle INEC, Jega. That's the main story on the Daily Independence. And the writer says stockholders urge more reforms in 2022 Electoral Act. Another writer says NAS committed to reforms, INEC's independence, Akpabio. This can be found on the the front page of the Daily Independence. Another story says we can make Ayeda Tiwa acting governor, Ondo Assembly. This can be found on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Moving ahead, another story says tech deployed in vote buying during Kogi Imo Bayelsa polls. This story can be found on page 6 of the Daily Independence. Moving on, Senate rejects bill seeking parties to replace dead elected officials. This is serious. This is on page 6. Senate rejects bill seeking parties to replace dead elected officials.
Yes, some patients actually saw that story yesterday, and it didn't pass through second reading, and you want to wonder why, if the political parties are the determinant of those that represent them, that become the candidates of the party. What I think that they should actually have the right to be able to, determine who will take place in case the person dies. But you see, the lawmakers stood against this. I think, was it Okoyemi or somebody said it, I think Okoyemi or somebody was saying that if it's democracy, then it means that election would have to be conducted in the case where the person dies. And I think the concern here is even how credible is the election that we conduct in this very country. I mean, this is still going to take us or lead us to the topic of discussion. Absolutely. It is an election that was conducted in Kano State, where the will of the people, majority brought about the sitting governor. And now the court sat and they have ruled that another person, the All Progressives Congress APC candidate, is the winner of that very election. So I imagine all of the monies that we are always earmarked for election, and at the end of the day, we can confidently say that yes, indeed, it is worth the while. So I don't know, but I feel that this also can be as a result of greed on the part of the politicians, because they also there's always somebody there's always a gain for somebody when you talk about election. Earmarks so much money for INEC again, then we all go through, and at the end of the day, it's like the political elites still have a power, the beacon on the judiciary yes. to determine who they really want to be there. So absolutely. It's about financial interest of these politicians. That's what I feel.
Well, Nikki has basically said everything I was going to talk about. It's quite unfortunate the way we practice democracy, in this part of the world where it's all about personal interest and personal gains, and the will of the people does not count. And we have a lot of accomplices, including the judiciary. They have been called out, a couple times. So I just hope we'll be able to get, our democracy right. I mean, Nigeria is over 60 years old. We shouldn't still be crawling, like Obasanjo said, let's review this democracy thing. If it's not working, yes. then let's review it, let's make it work, let's do something else, And people have called him out that, no, you were president, what did you do? He bettered it, but now we have bastardized it. Exactly. He wasn't perfect, but now it's extremely chaotic. So let's do something about it.
Okay, to another story. Appeal Court opposed elections of Fubara as Rivers governor. That can be found on page 7 of the Daily Independence, and that's all I can take on the Daily Independence.
And straight to the Nigerian Tribune. The major headline says, Ayedatiwa, Ondo Speaker reveals details of deal brokered by Tinubu, page 2 and page 13. The writer says, highlights how Deputy Governor will sign on dated resignation letter to be submitted to President. Says he remains Ondo Deputy Governor. Impeachment proceedings halted. Take actions. Forestall further crisis over Akeredolu's absence. Ondo Indigenous Rights CJ. A lot is happening in Ondo State. Nike, I mean, I know you've been following this story for a while now. What's your take on this?
Well, let me say that we've all been on the story for quite a while. We're all aware that, of course, the sitting governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, has been very sick, yes. And he continues to say that he is very fit. He continues to tell them he would resume his course, and this statement hasn't seen the light of the day. Mm-hmm. And now let's look back, because looking at the rider that's what the deputy governor is saying, he has just exposed a lot of things that has been hidden for many of us. Do not forget that Rotimi Akeredolu used to be the lawyer of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and then like that, he then became the governor. I was even surprised when I heard then that he was going to be contesting for governorship election in that state. And so when you look at this, it appears that you can't even separate politicians from lawyers. Yes. I remember that just yesterday, even a member of the CJN and the former NBA president, Akpata, also saying that if you look at the process that brings in the CJN and many of the sons, that you'll be amazed that the politicians are trying to put judges in their pocket. They want to put them under their arms, and is shouting out that the appeal court should come out and explain the error, said to be done in the CTC, and save the face of the judiciary. This is where we are now. I can't do so. Now he's also pointing accusing finger to the president, right? Yes. The deputy governor. Yeah. So if we look at the relationship between the sitting president and the governor of Akeredolu, it's been a long time coming. And you know the way it is scratch my back, and I understand I do the same for you. So it's about interest, and this is just, you're seeing the politics are being played in Nigeria here. They've been trying to force the deputy governor to resign, and so he can't keep quiet any longer. And the indigenous are also telling them to do something, because how can they continue to to be foolishly loyal.
Absentee governor.
An absentee governor. And do not forget, it's just about greed, because he wants to continue to take all of the monies, everything that comes with that office, because he's terribly sick. And so he needs this money to treat himself, and they're also trying to cover him up. Well, my prayer is for Aye that he was alive to be safe, because if it is about the major political interest, then don't be surprised, anything can happen.
We pray God protects him.
Yeah. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, Minister of Power to prioritize metering, distribution, transmission infrastructure. Page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Someone of Ogbomoso to get staff of office on December 19th. Page 30. Alleged procurement fraud. Emefiele yet to meet bail conditions. Court adjourns hearing to January 2024. I mean, this Emefiele's case is...
You know what? Emefiele from findings, I think he has embezzled. He has allegedly embezzled so much, and across the government of today, they will ensure that he coughs out all of the money that he has, allegedly embezzled. I mean, because for me, I was saying then that it's a slap on our face that the present sitting Central Bank of Nigeria president will come to us and say that he is contesting for the position of president, and he never resigned. He did. He never resigned. I remember that this very sitting president then, and that was when the slogan came out, Emilokon, and all of that. He even made a statement then, and then he came out to say that whoever wants to fight him should come and meet him in Abuja. And you see, little did he know that in a twinkle of an eye, the future is just very close. And this is his future now. So as much as I sympathize with him, but I think there should be, the system should work in such a way that people pay for their bad behavior or abuse of office.
Yes, they should all be accountable.
Yes, absolutely. Another story says, Senate passes 57 billion naira police trust fund budget. I like this one. Little by little, our security agencies are getting. I think it was last week there was a news that police officers who died while in service got remuneration from the government. Yeah, so it's good that they are being considered, because we know that for many years the police force has been abandoned. Many of their officers, nothing to write home about financially. Finally, on the Nigerian Tribune, it says Tinubu seeks NAS approval for 8.6 billion naira, 100 million pound 2022-2024 borrowing plan. And the writer says, we can build $1 trillion company in 10 years. President says, I bear no grudge against media practitioners, he adds.
Wonderful. You're building your projects on borrowed plan.
I don't know how that works. Sometimes patients, this to me is like a father of a home, or parents. I mean, leading or training their children.
That it's okay
family
to be in debt
on loans.
On loans, yes.
You are indebted just because you want to feed your family. That tells us something, which for me it shows that to an extent the head of the family lacks planning. The head of the family lacks foresight. Yes. He has an inability to see or look into the future. Definitely. Because if you do, you would have planned yourself, because you know that you need to get a job. Exactly. And you would not continue to borrow so much money that at the end of it all, even when you succeed in training your children begin to pay debt. I think that is not sensible enough. It's not making sense to me. And we'll see how that is going to turn out, because the president is supposed to make presentation today before the upper and lower assemblies. But you see, I just hope that the lawmakers are not a rubber stamp in such a way that the president will just come, say everything, and at the end of the day, those who are in support say aye, and those who are against say nay, and before you know it, we are running into high debt. So I just hope that something is done for us to write off the debt profile of Nigeria. We can continue this way. It's totally unacceptable.
Currently, our debt it should be about 54 point something trillion naira.
Now that is, and
That's
the
huge.
president comes in and amasses more
June.
debts
That's
and
huge.
more
As at
debts
June,
and more
it was
debts.
54.
But we have so much in this country, so much mineral resources, so many things that we can use in generating revenue to run the economy. I don't know why they're not concentrating on this part.
They want fast money.
Borrowing.
They want fast money. This can be likened to those into cyber crimes, the Yahoo.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work hard to make money. And I think that this is very bad, that the politicians are also following the same way. You understand? Because we need to teach ourselves. I don't know where I was listening to. I think one of the maybe the DG of orientation, Nigerian orientation, what's it called? Coming to say that we have values and blah 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 blah. What really is our values? When those who are public officers, they don't truly represent what the values should be. I mean, you don't forget that Hush Puppy, when he was arrested, he's a friend to many of them. He's communicating with them, and nothing happens, you know. So I don't know where we're going to get it right, but let's just see. And you want to wonder why the president is also saying that he forgives the media. There's a way he's written that Solomon.
Yes, he said
because he's gradually looking to the powers that be, or the sitting president, that the members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm are continuously condemning him. Yes. But it's just what it is. We need to call a spade a spade, because we are there to put government on their toes. Definitely. I mean, if you don't call your attention to it, we can't continue. We can't be like the lawmakers at the assemblies, whom many of them been there. They also ride basically on your influence. I mean, they're all politicians still. So somebody would have to call their attention to the right way to go.
Absolutely. That will be all for the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, still stay with a newspaper review. Next paper now, we'll look at the Vanguard newspaper. The major headline on the Vanguard newspaper reads, same as the latter, Tinubu's new $8.6 billion loan bid takes debt above $51.759 billion. Solomon, that's your attention. You were still talking about trillions of naira. This is $51.759 billion dollars. And then the writer says, request part of 2022 to 2024 external borrowing plan for critical infrastructure. President to present 2024 appropriation bill to joint a session of NAS today. Total domestic debt as of June hits 54.130 trillion naira. And analysts, experts seek proper utilization and accountability.
Currently, our debt has risen to 94 trillion naira. Currently. And most of this, you can see the disparity between June and November. Tinubu is just starting, he's still hitting the ground running. We never see anything yet.
There's more to be unraveled. And now another headline, still staying with the Vanguard newspaper, reads, Imo DPO officers to face sanction over alleged escape of suspected rapists.
Wow.
Ooh la 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 la.
How did he live? How did he escape?
The Nigeria police. Police, I hailed them. I mean, these are the bad eggs that we talk about being in the police. Rapists disappear. I think that story should be well investigated. A lot of money must have exchanged hands for these rapists to have disappeared.
Yes, because for instance, they have the keys. He was under lock and keys. Did he become a magician and just
maybe what happened to Daniel? Was it who was
it? It was Paul and Silas.
Paul and Silas. When they started, even Paul and Silas, something happened. After all, we were rendering praises.
Yes.
Yeah. And then God performed the miracle. So what happened
Paul
here?
And Silas were
money praises.
They were not rapists. They were doing the work of God before they were taken in. Yes, they were. Paul and Silas were not rapists. This is a confirmed rapist that had been convicted and put.
And in addition, do you know that the rapist is a serial rapist? It's not like, he's not new to the game.
Oh, cool.
He's been doing it a long time. Nigeria police, please, we appeal, we're joining other Nigerians to say that this rapist that is on the run should be brought back, please. Or else somebody should lose his or her job.
Sanctions should be made.
All right, I'll go to the headline following this directly. Reads, controversial judgments. We will do our best to reform justice sector. Hello, this is credited to the AGF. You find the story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. You see, our patients, our concern is just the same with every party as it is right now.
Yes.
The AGF is now saying that they will do all they can to reform justice sector. How do we begin to believe him? You remember that we have had a guest here who also said that these people have been brought in by politicians. Not to talk of you, that you're writing an appointment, AGF. You are the one telling us that we do your best.
I think it's just a camouflage. It's just a camouflage. So, so that everybody will not be as if they're in one party. They are not in one category.
All right.
So they just, divide and rule tactics.
No, I think they're trying to play on the intelligence of Nigerians. Yes. Just like the way the president will be presenting the budget today before the joint assembly. Don't be surprised that all of these meetings been had during the night.
Just a script.
It's in a grades and scripted. Senator, blah blah blah.
You'll be against it.
You'll be against our base. Then who can speak with Senator Shomole? Yes. You should be the one to ratify everything by saying.
It's all a scripted play. Playing out.
Oh my goodness, so many dramas. All right, we'll leave that down to another headline atop the Vanguard newspaper. This one says, a military onslaught forced 160,000 terrorists to lay down arms. This is according to Zulum. Find that story on page 13. Maybe we should clap and say hippie.
Hippie, hooray.
We're winning the war against terrorism in Nigeria.
That's a good one.
At least Christmas is coming, so Nigerians, you need to hear something good so that you can travel home. Yes, especially my brothers from the you know what I'm saying. All right, another headline here reads, the Guardian lecture, how Nigeria, Africa can earn global respect. This speakers at the Guardian lecture, additional, that's a legal practitioner, a former NBA chairman, additional Osage, others. This is what they believe, that Nigeria can earn is respect. I believe Nigeria can earn his respect, but we need to get our actual rights.
We need to work towards it, yes, definitely.
And finally, of course, this is not a new story. It's been read in other dailies. This one says, alleged fraud, Emefiele, not owner of firm, awarded 1.2 trillion naira contract. This is according to one of the witness, and you'll find that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that wraps it up on the Vanguard newspaper.
Yes, Emefiele is really under. There was a picture actually of Emefiele carrying a Bible, and he said he's now a pastor.
I think that's no news. We know that restitution has taken place.
Yes.
This is what Nigeria still is going to teach you to do. In most cases, when they go in there, they are forced to identify and recognize that indeed Jesus is Lord. You know what I'm saying? So I'm amazed, honestly. I'm amazed when I saw the picture of him carrying a Bible. Like, really? Does Emefiele want us to begin to analyze how many people died based on
the cashless policy?
Cashless policy, yes, and Naira redesign and what have you? I mean, I think that's why God is God.
And God is so
You know,
merciful.
that's why God is
So
God.
we can't really
So
judge.
let's hope we can count on the mercy of God. But then, this is reality. Human beings are here.
Yes.
And I'm sure the president and the rest of the politicians, that will show him that, you see, heaven and hell, it's a very wide space.
And that the law of karma exists.
Exactly.
You took
What goes
you
around.
took that away from me, because I was a lot of Nigerian criminals and politicians will run to toe the same line. I will steal money and I'll run to God. In fact, some of them are doing it. They'll go and give their tithe. They will make donations in church, hoping that the repercussions of their actions will not fall on them. Hey, you will receive your judgment
Definitely.
here.
Even David, the apple of God's eye, received his own judgment.
Oh, what are we
Yes, he
talking
did.
about then? Not to talk of Emefiele. You said the thing is just for them to seek a public sympathy. And
yes.
it will not work. Nigerians are not fools, you know. And you were there for 210 CBN governor. Do you know what that is? And that's why people say that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think he even stayed there too long, and it's just because he's doing the bidding of those who brought him into office.
Definitely.
Do you understand? So let him face it, and let him face it. And I hope that others will also learn from this to ensure that when you're in office, it is time for you to deliver, serve rightly. Because if you don't, the consequences are there. So this wraps it up on our newspaper segment, a newspaper review. Endeavor, like I always say, endeavor to get these papers. Yes, we know that the situation in Nigeria is not very friendly, but of course that should not stop us from, being informed. Information is key. You need to get yourself acquainted with all of these informations. So just get them: the Sun newspaper, a Daily Independent, the Nigerian Tribune, Punch newspaper, all of those dailies are there. Just get one and get yourself acquainted with what is happening in Nigeria and beyond. So right about now, we'll take a short break. And when we return, it will be time for us to look at our hashtags and trends before we go into the major topic of discussion. Join us again. Also glad to have you back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. And all that bright time where we look at trends and hashtags. So, Pat, what's going on?
A lot is going on in Nigeria. Of recent, what's trending now is the Kano elections. The protesters in the streets have started attacking the Nigerian army, and the Nigerian army have come out to condemn the attacks on the soldiers. You know, the protesters are really getting very agitated. I mean, because, you know, they voted for their choice, and they're saying, this man you're telling us won is not our candidate. And they're really going out. I just hope they.
But I hope the soldiers that are being attacked did not die. I hope it was in.
No, there was no death tolls.
All right.
I think they were pelting them with stones and things like that.
Okay. Well, as a media personnel, we condemn that. Yes. We shouldn't. The essence of the military being deployed to the protest ground is to help calm the tension that is ongoing, because protests can lead, if not well controlled, it can lead to riots, it can lead to war.
You know what, let me even tell you, if you're not unaware, do you know that the women in Kano are also going out naked?
Oh.
Yes, they're going out naked right now. So it's not just about the soldier being attacked. And I think this is a strong message to the government, for them to quickly contain this and to do something about this very judgment, because from different quarters, people believe that judgment was being influenced. You remember I said it here that the Yoruba community in Kano came out to say that they are afraid of being attacked based on that judgment, because they say that it is a Yoruba president that has influenced that judgment, trying to subvert the will of the people. And you see, this has always been the cry from people, that you should allow the will of the people to prevail.
Yes.
You know, we cannot continue to subvert this will, and you expect people to just keep quiet and look as if all is well. It's not possible. It appears to me that the government of the day has pushed the people to the wall, because we have not also forgotten the Supreme Court judgment on even the sitting president.
Definitely.
A lot of people express reservations, and their reservations is that this is not a person they voted for. Or what can anybody say, all in the name of the rule of law? And in ensuring that the rule of law prevails, the rule of law is getting looking like it's serving the interest of some people, which should not be.
Definitely.
For these women to be coming out naked, it tells you something.
It's a strong message.
It means that they're not going to take this lightly.
Yes.
Do not forget that in Kano, these are northerners, and they are naturally violent.
Yes.
And so you do not think what you did in Lagos, where you sent a military man, they stay shooting everybody. It might not work in Kano, because these are very strong-minded, and they do not really care. They are fearless when it comes to death.
Definitely.
It's not like us that will be like, is it in a situation where just one man has about 42 children, and then you want them to worry? Everybody just live their life the way they want to live their life.
Definitely.
So what are we talking about? My appeal for government is to ensure that they quickly contain the matter, to ensure that the judiciary too endeavor to do what is right by saving their face and saving the nation, because this is the entity we have as a nation. And if we allow it, if we destroy it, posterity will judge.
Absolutely, you're very right. Now to another story, still in the north. Sharia is trending.
The north?
Yes, Sharia is trending. And I wonder why they want to impose Sharia on Nigerians, because we are a diverse country with people with diverse religious beliefs, and we come from different places, and we are not all Muslims.
But Patience, why are you surprised? Yes, Sharia law has always been with the north, right? Yeah. And just recently, you saw this Sheikh Moik, or how is his name called? Naik. Thank you. Where he came out to say that Nigeria is an Islamic nation, and declaring the Kano Emir. Was it the Kano Emir?
Head of state.
As head of state.
Sokoto.
So this is a pointer somewhere that some group of people still believe that Nigeria is an Islamic nation. Do not also let us forget that we were also nominated to intervene in the war in
Gaza,
the war between Israel and Hamas. You understand?
Yes.
So for Nigeria to be nominated, that tells you something.
And aside from that, they said the president wants to also take loans from an Islamic organization.
The president also wants to take loan from Islamic organization.
Yes.
Of course, the sitting president and the vice president, they are both Muslims. They vote on Muslim tickets. So what are we talking about? So what Nigerians, I'm not trying to put fears in your heart or in your mind, but I'm just saying it, analyzing it the way it is, that this might be a pointer that indeed Nigeria is gradually tilting into an Islamic nation. But if we think this is not it, then I think the appropriate quarters that should fight this should stand up and let us know the real state of Nigeria.
Yes, absolutely. And now, still tilting to this Muslim, it's like it's all Muslim marches. There's this story about Rhoda Jatto. You remember Deborah Samuel?
Yes, the Christian lady
that was killed,
that went to preach. She was against in the WhatsApp group.
In the school.
Student WhatsApp group.
She actually said, this is a group for homework and assignments.
So why are you posting?
Schoolwork, religious things, and then she said she blasphemed, and they all ganged up.
Accused her of blasphemy
and killed her.
And then they stoned her to death.
Yes. Now a lady called Rhoda Jatto came out to actually protest against the killing of Deborah Samuel, and she was arrested and she's been in jail for 18 months, languishing in jail.
Okay, well, I think that story is it was in Sokoto or Kano. I'm trying to remember.
It's Sokoto.
It's in Sokoto. So that time when that story came out, I remember that the sitting governor of Sokoto came to Lagos, also having the ambition of being the president. It was Tambuwal, right? I'm trying to remember. It was Tambuwal that was the governor then. And then he came to Lagos, and I asked him directly. I said, the question shook him that day. I asked him. I said, you want to run for the position of president of this nation? I said, but I put it to you that why would you want people to vote for you when in your state a Christian student was stoned to death? What did you do about that? There's a way the protocols and everything he was just speaking out of, he was just saying out of point, you understand? So this goes to tell you that indeed this Sharia being practiced, it has been with the North, and it gradually appears as though there's nothing anybody can do about it. Yes, maybe other parts of the country might scale through, you understand, but in the North, I think you can't separate the North from Sharia law. Now, the person who protested against the killing of that girl has been held in prison now for 18 months. Well, my appeal will just be for something urgent to be done, because she should be released. It's a right to speak. It's a right.
Well, for me, concerning Sharia law, the way the Northerners are upholding Sharia law, maybe the Southerners, the Easterners, and the Westerners should also have their own regional laws to help guide their activities, because if the Northerners are saying that this is their religion, I mean, then we also have our own dominant religion in the South and in the eastern part of Nigeria. So maybe we should also have our own laws, our own regional laws that can guide our activities and guide our religion, because it doesn't make sense. And
you see, some of the laws of those what's called the Sharia and the regional, as you explained it, some of them contradicts the fundamental human rights. You understand? But when you have this kind of contradiction, you now begin to wonder how it's going to scale through. Do you understand? I believe the reason why they're not still looking at the North is because they are not coming out to talk.
Now we have the Sharia law contradicting some of our laws in the Nigerian constitution, and the government is not saying anything about it because they feel that the Northerners and their religion cannot be separated from politics or whatever. It's having a rhetoric effect on the nation in general, because this girl was killed, no justice was meted on anybody. Another girl, another lady,
no compensation for the parents,
for the family. Someone else came out to protest, to raise an alarm that, look, why are you guys quiet about it? She was also arrested and thrown into the jail, and she's been there for 18 months. No court case, no, you know.
And the federal government is not even seeing to this, because I'm also wondering, when Deborah died, what did the federal government do to this? Do you understand? What did the federal government? So this goes to tell you, or what we've been saying here, that the government of the day does not place value on the lives of Nigerians. Because if they do, I think the war against Boko Haram, we should have won the war. I mean, we should have progressed beyond where we are. Yeah. But because it seems that they care less about our lives, that's why it's been thriving. Well, my own appeal this morning is the federal government to intervene and let them help to release this activist who has spoken for the Christian girl that was stoned to death. We need justice.
Absolutely, we need justice.
All right, this is where we're wrapping up on our trends and hashtags. So right about now, we will take a short break, and when we return, it will be time for us to begin our discussion segment with, of course, our guest, Barrister Ladipo Johnson, of course, the spokesperson of NNPP. Join us again. Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by government tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation together with talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Denola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Mọ́rúnsọ́lá ní orúkọ ti tèmi funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kí tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ètò tó ga jù. Ẹ má miss ẹ̀, ó ga jù lẹ́tò. Ẹ pàdé mi, ó ṣàprápra.
Lẹ́nu ọkọ̀ lẹ́nu odò lẹ́nu, tọ́mọ̀tà cannot do.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. No be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth, make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eye see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen with there and my name now Mr. Peace. That MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
Reach to the sky, ladies and gentlemen!
Demand attitude.
So glad to have you back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. We're now to our discussion segment. Like I told you earlier, that today we will be looking at political interference in electoral verdicts. And this time we will get to know the public perception about it. We will also be getting the perspective of the NNPP's spokesperson, talking about Barrister Ladipo Johnson, because as we speak now, there is protest on the streets of Kano. Women are going naked, and of course, soldiers are being attacked. So right about now, let me first say, Patience, what do you make out of this? The political interference in electoral verdicts?
It is not just part. Elections are supposed to be free and fair. And so far, INEC has, the integrity of INEC has really been flushed down the drain with what has been happening with elections. And then to compound it, the judiciary is also, towing the part of INEC, which is supposed to be the last resort for the common man.
Exactly.
Now, since we don't have the judiciary, I believe that's what the Scali people are trying to say. Since we can't run to the court and get a good verdict from the judiciary, let's all come out and speak for ourselves and let the world know that this is what we're going through. And it's really, really sad.
Well, it's not far-fetched, because when you have the president, the government making appointments when it comes to judiciary.
What do you expect? They are going to manipulate them when it comes to situations like this.
Okay, Solomon, before you ride on, I think right about now, just recently, of course, what am I even saying? Just 2 days ago, a political figure in the People's Democratic Party, of course, the former national deputy chairman of the People's Democratic Party and the main leader in Lagos PDP, Olabode George, said very salient, things about the judiciary. And I would quickly want us to take a listen to what he's saying. Of course, also calling the attention of judges not to allow themselves to be used by politicians, and to deliver justice and not judgment. Because they believe that what we are saying right now, it's about judgment and not justice. And he is saying that we shouldn't subvert the will of the people. Let's quickly take a listen to him.
Major discussion today centers on when Nigerians no longer trust the third estate of the realm. Anarchy looms. That is the heading. In other words, when people cannot trust the judicial system in this country, where else do we go? These are not the best of times for the judiciary in Nigeria. Today, what is oozing from the third arm of government in the world's most populous black nation is offensive to millions of Nigerians. And when the judiciary is compromised, one way or the other, in a democratic system, then democracy is gone. Many Nigerians believe that members of the executive and the legislature are already living in different planets. So they see the judiciary as the last estate standing in the realm. In Nigeria, there are hundreds of judges upholding the sanctity of the judiciary. They not only give judgments, but they deliver justice. Nigerians still believe in them, but because of conflicting and contradictory judgments coming from a few, the belief of many Nigerians in the judiciary is understandably shaken. And this is worrisome, because if the people don't believe in the third arm of government, and so the questions being asked today are, one, what exactly is the problem of the judiciary? Where did we get it wrong? Why is it difficult for the judiciary to assert its control over politicians and political parties? Why are technicalities being used to affirm electoral heists, and in the process undermine the will of the people and silence them? What is the meaning of a typographical error when a judgment had already been delivered? Is it, according to some Nigerians, that the real judgment was pushed aside and another read, which has now led to a typographical error? In justice delivery, a matter of life and death, judges are next to God. That is why anything that comes from the court is final.
Wow, that is Olabode George, Chief Olabode George there, speaking his mind about this judgment. He said contradictory judgment being delivered, and he said justice are judges are next to God, which means they are expected to be very, to an extent, truthful, forthright. But what we see today makes many wonder if we can still trust the judiciary. We're now being joined by the New Nigeria People's Party spokesperson, Barrister Ladipo Johnson. Barrister, good morning. Johnson, can you hear me? I think we have a poor network. We'll continue to see how we can link him and hope that the network will be good enough for us to hear from him. And so, Patience Solomon, you heard what Chief Olabode George, his concerns basically, and now his concerns has been, of course, ratified by elders of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Lagos State, because I read that, I saw that, they all signed it. And he's just the one willing it out, you know. And I think you should also look at what he said. He said the judiciary is shaky.
It is.
You know, and then he said, it makes mention of the statement he made there, referring to, you know, the judgment delivered. He said, what is the meaning of typographical error when judgment has been made?
And when the judgment from the court is final. Now, this brings to mind, peradventure there's a case of an innocent citizen who is not supposed to be sentenced to death, and then a judgment is made, and then you come out and say it was typographical error after the person has been sentenced.
Oh,
and then
my God, that's a very good one.
This is negligence as far as I'm concerned.
But this just goes to show a lot that are happening
on the ground.
Underneath.
When it comes to our judicial system. You know, the other day we had a back and forth here in the studio with the security expert
and
the barrister.
Yes.
You know, and the security expert was calling the judicial system out. They are not transparent, and they need to review their laws and certain things and he also talked about a rule of practice and
rule of law,
you know, which the barrister debunked. But he later admitted that the judiciary is not totally immune to certain of these errors. But these errors, they are jeopardizing lives.
They are, definitely.
I mean, look at what's happening in Kano. And this goes to a lot to show, again, what we talked about many times here, that when the judgment passed is the mandate of the people, you will see jubilations.
Definitely.
After the February elections, when judgment was passed, we saw the mourning.
The mourning, yes.
You know, in the whole nation.
Nation, sadness everywhere.
And you could tell that, could this be the mandate of the people? You know?
And they're not celebrating?
Exactly.
No celebrations.
Nigerians are happy people.
We are,
and
definitely.
when things are going the way they had preempted or the way they wanted it to be.
So jubilation.
And that brings to mind, Apata also said that the recruitment process of the judiciary is faulty. That a lot of people that have been recruited are not well learned, and a lot of them don't even know a lot of things about law.
That's what we're talking about. It is still the government that appoints judges. As far as we have that, then we will have people that will be manipulated. Because you want to do the bidding of your employer.
Master.
It's gradually becoming a case of he who pays the piper dictating the tune. You know, I'm just trying to look out for what Olumide Apata said, because this is now let me tell you, the protest that erupted again in Kano. They said high number of youths have taken to the streets of Kano State in protest against the appeal court judgment between the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP and the All Progressives Congress APC in the state. In what appeared to be a coordinated action, a huge crowd of protesters, including men and women, stormed strategic locations of the city which temporarily grounded commercial activities. The angry youths barricaded two of the major entrances of the state as motorists along Zaria and Maiduguri roads were forced to divert to avoid the fierce-looking youths. Some of the protesters, as Kantin Quarry Market, stormed IBB Way carrying different placards with inscriptions. This is what I even wanted to note. Calling for justice for Governor Abba. Kano, my city, my state. Abba's mandate was stolen. Abba's mandate was stolen in 2019. This is what I want to call our attention to. That his mandate was stolen in 2019. what happened in 2019 would not be allowed to repeat itself now. Now, this is according to what is written on the placards of these protesters. And now, what is baffling is that the police are threatened that they do not want any person or group to protest. And these people still, you know, you understand. So it is gradually telling you that the people knows what they want and they are ready to fight for their rights. Yes. Right about now, we'll now be speaking with the NNPP spokesperson via phone call, Barrister Ladipo Johnson. Good morning. Barrister, can you hear me? Okay, it's still pretty difficult. Barrister Ladipo Johnson, can you hear me? Good morning.
Switch off with WhatsApp. Switch off with WhatsApp.
Barrister Ladipo Johnson, can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you, but there is something disturbing it. It's not coming in at normal speed. If the other internet line is still on, the direct one, they should do that off.
Okay. Right now we want you to join us via a phone call, and we can hear you, Barrister. First, we want to get your reaction. You are the spokesperson of New Nigeria's People's Party. We want you to tell us, we are aware that there is a protest right now in the state. Confirm this to us and also let us know the position of your party on this very court verdict.
Well, I don't know if people...
Pardon me? Me. Okay, it's pretty difficult to connect with Barrister, but of course we'll keep making frantic efforts to see that we connect him, because it is very important at this point in time that we hear the position of the NNPP on this matter, and to also confirm to you that indeed there is a protest in that very state. So like I was saying earlier, colleagues, these people are saying that in 2019 he was robbed of his mandate, and the same thing is about to repeat itself, and they say that they are standing their ground to say that that will not happen again. And I also want to link this to what also happened in Osun State. Yes. I remember that before the sitting governor, Governor Adeleke was able to, win this last election.
He went to court severally.
In 2019, I think, he also won that election because I was there. I even knew there were police officers even parked near my car. And the information they got immediately from the federal, they sent them a message to say that, be ready. It took the electoral officer hours to be able to read to us what the result was. We slept over at INEC office there, waiting for us to hear the result. At a point in time, he goes in and comes out and was just shaky. The next thing I said to go into my car the next day, only for me to see that the police officers got a message from the federal government that they should be prepared, that anybody who try to foment trouble or stage protest, they should use force to disperse them. So let's again, I think Barrister is back again. Barrister Ladipo Johnson, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, I think I can hear you.
All right, beautiful, Barrister. Okay, Barrister, well, first of all, of course, you're aware of the topic of discussion. We are worried that there is a protest in Kano again. We have heard from feelers reaching us that women are going naked on the streets, and of course, our soldiers are also attacked We want to know, we want you to confirm to us, since you are on ground there, how true this is, and what is the position of your party on the judgment delivered in court? Barrister? Oh, it's already a big challenge with the network this morning. Oh,
it's really a big challenge.
This is painful because there can't be a better time for him to talk now, because he's very relevant to the topic of discussion right now. But unfortunately, okay, I think it's all right. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm checking out with you. But the position of our party is that this was a miscarriage of justice. We refused the subtitle copy of the judgment about on the 5th day. You know, you have a window of 14 days to appeal. And the Court of Appeal failed to give us immediately. When there was a lot of noise in the media, they called our lawyers on the 5th day and gave us specificity. And then we noticed this issue with the specificity itself. On Friday 17th, when judgment was delivered in court, they stated that our appeal has failed. But when we received the certificate, we saw that their conclusion was that the tribunal result in Kano had been set aside, the appeal was successful, and the first respondent took the certificate to take cost of the Island. Now, this directly contradicted what was read out in court the previous Friday. And so we keep it up. The rest is history. As you know, the chief registrar of the Court of Appeal came out to say it was a mistake. It was a clerical error. But our position is that 2-3 paragraphs cannot be again.
Okay, I think we really have a big challenge with the network this morning. We have very important network with Barrister, but Barrister, please to try to see how you can reconnect with us, because we are really interested. I'm sure Nigerians are really interested to hear your party's position. But Solomon, I think I can still hear a few things, the message Barrister was trying to drive home. And you see, I think this is where I respect lawyers. They know how to play with words. They're very good when it comes to words. And sometimes you begin to ask yourself that the statement made, do you really understand it? You need to look at it very well and get yourself acquainted to break it down to the understanding, you know. And so he said that he described the judgment as miscarriage of justice. Which for me can be better described as abortion of justice. You know, it's like when you try to kill a baby. You understand? It means that it's an embryo, so it doesn't form and become a baby. So there's no reason for a celebration. What do you?
An embryo is a human being. A fetus has life. So you can't say this.
But doesn't come out to be a baby. That's what I said.
Because it's been aborted.
Exactly.
If it was allowed to live.
There would be reason to celebrate.
Would have been able to celebrate, you know. So the thing there is, this judgment, as far as I'm concerned, is it's not good.
I like the fact that legal practitioners are even calling out, the judiciary
Exactly.
on this, because we saw what happened at Kano. I think what happened at Kano State is a reflection of the 2023 elections.
Exactly, playing out again.
Yes.
A replay.
Even played out in Imo State with the Uzodinma elections, even for Bora in Bayelsa and all that. So it's been playing out around the country.
And this tells you that when leaders are going all out to ensure that they get power by force, when they come on board, they don't really have no vision for the people.
No, they're only after their selfish interest.
Self-aggrandizement and all of that, and that's what has been happening in Nigeria over the years.
Well, but I think another thing we should also look at is I think we should be elated that even the legal practitioners are coming out to also condemn this very judgment. A barrister, I think we have barrister back, Barrister Ladiko Johnson.
I'm here.
All right, beautiful. So, Barrister, right on the position of your party based on the judgment delivered.
So I heard you say the position of my party, and I didn't hear the end of the question.
The position of your party based on the judgment delivered that is calling for the sack of the sitting governor of Kano State, who is a candidate of your party.
Yeah. Well, the position is that we have appealed to the Supreme Court, and we appealed based on the first 6 we received. The Court of Appeal subsequently issued another CPC, and we believe the Supreme Court is in the best position to take on all issues and resolve the entire appeal in its totality. For instance, the Constitution of the Federal Republic gives the Court of Appeal just 60 days to dispense with the appeal. The so-called correction of the clerical error occurred after the 60 days, when we say they are functions of people. So the issues that are going to do not allow them to correct what they did. And as we know, there's a conviction, quite unfortunately, in the judgment of the Court of Appeal. So the Supreme Court is in the position to clear, if we bring everything before the High Court again, to clear up any doubts and what have you. In the meantime, the executive governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, and the leadership of the party have kept on telling our supporters to remain calm, to let the rule of law prevail, because you will recall that in 2019, Abba Kabir Yusuf won that election.
Exactly.
Against the former candidate. And that was when we heard that our election was inconclusive. It was the same judiciary. So the people in Kano, the masses that voted, we have over 8 million votes. No other gubernatorial candidate in the country have such votes. Those people are not happy. They are not NNPP supporters. They are voters, citizens of and citizens of Kano. They are unhappy with the situation. Now, I heard you speaking earlier about the network working group. The police, the commissioner of police, has been protest. You cannot do that. If they are not protesting violently within their constitutional right, to bring issues to the public domain, protesting is part of democracy. So it involves on the police in Kano to ensure that there is the ability to have peaceful protest, so that it will not be hijacked by thoughts either sent by the other party or what have you. But to try to stop the people from expressing their political opinion or the social opinion on a social basis is very, very unfair and undemocratic.
Okay, Barrister, I'm happy you are very good. Of course, with the law, you're acquainted with the law as a barrister. Yes, we know that, of course, peaceful protest, people should not be gagged. You should allow them to express themselves. This is the question, Barrister. If you said that now you're heading to the Supreme Court, right? Because the way it looks, some people have said that it seems that there's a bit of executive interference in this very judgment. And we have seen Yorubas in Kano coming out to say that they are afraid of their lives because many of the houses, the angry protesters are saying that it is a Yoruba president that is trying to, subvert their will. And they are afraid they might come for them. And I heard them calling on the Yoruba leaders like the OBJ, the Alafis, the Awujales, and the Oni of Ife, that they should come out and intervene in such a way that the will of the people is not subverted. Do you think in this direction too that there is a bit of executive interference in this?
Well, I don't think that the Yorubas in Kano are really afraid for their lives. What I heard them discussing was that they are individuals of Kano, they were born there, they know what has happened, they know what happened in 2019, and they know what the majority of the people feel. Unfortunately, we all know how volatile Kano state is. So what the Yorubas are saying, or from what I read in the press, is that these people, you cannot cheat these people and hope that they will remain
silent.
It is clear what happened in Kano. It is clear, and let me just argue that we have Kano, we have Nasarawa, we have Plateau State, three volatile states that are currently going through this sort of problem. I don't want to say at the hands of the military or at the hands of the political class. Whatever.
Okay, unfortunately, we lost the barrister again. But right about now, before we ride on, I also want us to hear, we conducted a vox pop, and the people also gave their opinion, their feelings, how they see this whole issue. So let's quickly take a listen to respondents, what they have to say.
First, to me, Nigeria has no judiciary. We only have, you get the money, you get the law. What we have in Nigeria is you have the money, you have the law. If you don't have the money, there is no law. The law is holding you that doesn't have. But if you have the money, you are above the law. Then, based on the system of Nigeria, the politics of Nigeria, where only the rich or only those in power get the judge, get the favor of the judge and everyone in the system, in the law. That is the only thing. But if you talk about, say, there is a law, because in the good old days they will say the law is the last hope of the common man. Now the law is the first imprisonment of the common man. if the right people are in place, because it has been said in the scripture, if the wicked are in power, the citizens suffer it. If the good man is in power, the citizen rejoice. That is what plays on. If the right people are in power, the people will enjoy. The law will come back to its place because it will play its part as it's supposed to play.
I can say that Nigeria doesn't have any judiciaries again because our judiciary is being controlled by a government that doesn't have anything to offer Nigeria again. So they don't have anything to offer Nigeria because Nigerians hope on them. They have fed us. So I believe they are a failure. My brother, I can tell you, let nobody hope on them because they are all failure. Right from the up, they are all failure. We, the masses, doesn't have anything to benefit or maybe to gain from them because we all have hope on them, but they have failed Nigerians. So they're all a failure. Well, the way forward now is for us to pray to God. That's the only thing. Because we know they don't have anything to offer us. And we don't have anything to offer us. So now our trust and our way forward is on God.
We still have law in Nigeria. It's just that, you know, we were so disappointed, and we believe that all what our leaders are doing are wrong. It's not every time so. Like all those places that because what is really baffling people is because they think Nigeria is going on the top of one party system. It's not so. When PDP were winning, nobody talks. I'm not a party man, but that's just the truth. Now APC is winning, and there is still Supreme Court. So why are people shouting now that APC is winning appeals? So to me, there is still the law is doing it. Is doing its job. That's why we see different party winning. Okay, like last week now, look at Fubara. He won at the appeal court too. So they lost this stance. So I don't see why people are shouting that there's no law, there's no law, there's no law.
Quite interesting, the views of Nigerians, like they say, different strokes for different folks. But of course, the first two, you have heard them what they said. You see, but this is one interesting thing about Nigerians. No matter how the situation is, they will always end it with God. That man said, let's just, the way forward is for us to just put our problems on God.
You know, and that's the problem I think we as Africans have. We don't know how to hold our government accountable. In the Western world, they call out their government. But here, even when you try to do, you are shut out by the military.
I think the religious organization, they are doing a good job for us. All right, right about now, I'm sure we really spent so much time. It's now time for us to know what's going on in the world of sports. So, Sports Enjoy Wakego, what's happening?
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Sport Train on U45. A lot is happening in the world of sports. And just recently, there's been a lot of talk here and there about the coach of the Super Falcons, because the last time we had a coach in the person of Waldron, but right now the assistant Justin Madagu said he is the coach, but there's no official statement that Waldron is no more the coach. But let's just ride with what we have. And there's a game coming up tomorrow in the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja against Cape Verde, and the coach just said we will not underrate the Cape Verdeans, because just recently they've invested a lot in their football and they've been getting results upon results. Funny enough, about 10 players in the Cape Verde team, they played that trade in Portugal, just 1 or 2 players in the local league. So it's going to be a big fight between the Super Falcons and the Cape Verde. ahead of the Cup of Nations, the WAFCON coming up in Morocco 2024. And just recently, 2 Nigerian players, just actually 3, were shortlisted among the players of the year, the young players of the year, Ajakaye, and also you have Oshuala and Nadoto, the goalkeeper for Paris FC in France. So that game comes up tomorrow, 4 p.m. Super Falcons, 11-time champion in Africa.
It's going to be clash of the titans because Cape Verde is one of the rising team in African football, both the male and the female team. You know, they play good football. They play like their European team. You know, so it's going to be a difficult game for the Super Falcons. But I hope they should be able to grind a win from that match.
Isaac Oshuala is on the verge of picking up a 6-time African best player in the female category. I mean, do you see that happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
I'm glad about that.
Yeah, I know you will because you are
she's a woman of substance, so let her go for it.
Just this morning, the vote increased from 3% to 15%.
She's going to get it, for God's sake.
6 times.
I mean, looking at her track records, in the space of how many years, of course, professionalism has been seen by all, and it is undeniable. So I think she deserves it, and she's really going to get it.
I think the entire team had a good spell in the last World Cup in Australia, hosted by New Zealand, especially the goalkeeper. She saved the penalty and she made some couple of good saves too.
Absolutely, and you can see how they got out of the tournament via penalties, which is a game of luck. It can happen to any team. Good one for Azizat.
Yeah, good one, and also good one for Enugu Rangers because they just took a bold step just recently, and they said they're going to open an online store. Yeah, actually a real store, not online, in Enugu State. Talk about merchandising, because we see back in Europe a lot of clubs, they make money from merchandising, mugs, you know, sales of jerseys, even up to pens and all that. So right now, I think Enugu Rangers just made that big move. They have a store right now in Enugu. You just go in there, pick original jerseys. Rangers International. I think it's a good one.
I think it's a good one to help our league here in Nigeria, and I think other clubs should, you know, emulate what Enugu Rangers is doing.
Look, I'm tired of going around and not seeing Nigerian jerseys to buy. What we keep seeing in European club jerseys all over the streets and everywhere.
We see that the industry is not thriving. I mean, let's know the business of sports. It's okay to have the fun side, but what about the business aspect?
Exactly.
Sell some of these jerseys of these known stars, footballers. And you'll be amazed, even secondary school, the way they rush to buy them, and then you'll be making money. But it just appears that in this part of the world, we always put all our burden on government. You know, everybody just want to see that huge money. You can dip your hand, and then you begin to.
Funny enough, back in 2018, the World Cup in Russia, Nigerian jersey was among the best and the highest sold out.
And the World Cup, right.
Lastly, on the news, Osimhen, Napoli just placed a price tag of around 30 million euros for Osimhen, and just recently, Osimhen was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia for $1 million a week. He turned it down.
What?
Yeah, $1 million a week.
Oh,
he turned it
my
down.
God! Congratulations.
$1 million a week.
No, I mean the
130 million euros.
Yes, I think it should be 150 with what Osimhen did for Napoli last season.
And Chelsea and Arsenal are the problem.
Yes, I think that dude is one of the greatest.
Guys, we need to wrap it up here.
Anyway, no problem. We need to wrap it up because we have sport coming up by 3 p.m.
I know you guys love money, and I love money too. You see how I
exclaimed
hearing that huge amount of money. I hope they can start that with my profession, where I'll be presenting for a week with dollars of you know what I'm saying. All right, viewers, thank you so much, Sporting Joe Wankego. This is where we'll draw the curtain on Wednesday edition of U45 Morning Show. Also saying many thanks to the spokesperson of NNPP, Barrister Ladipo Johnson. He has told us that, of course, the way they see this, the judgment delivered in Kano is abortion of justice, and I would have asked him what would be his next line or the party's next line of action if the Supreme Court eventually rules against him. What then will happen? But of course, only time will tell. Many thanks to watching. Many thanks to our producer Sam Eze. You're doing a good job. Let me say kudos to you. And this is where we call it a day. I'm a Adenike Weye Ajiboye.
I am Osage Solomon.
And I'm Joel Wankego.
And from all of us, to have a beautiful day and stay safe.